Testing. Hey Jeremy, welcome to the stream, man. I enjoyed your little trip down memory lane to the to that booth. I remember looking at that booth. Um, I was walking around the show looking for jade green shrimp, and I went there and they had already sold out. They must have sold all their jade greens immediately. So thanks for the little memory there. That was an excellent booth. And yes, you are first. I'm a little bit early. This is the Endler footage that I got from my video that I did on my Endlers not too long ago in the background. And once again, I am bereft of axes to grind. Yeah, they seem like genuinely decent people. You know, they weren't oh, I don't know, all blown up about themselves or anything. Hey Priscilla, welcome to the stream. How's Priscilla doing today? I think Jeremy beat you in, but you could be first too. Everybody can be first today. Is the audio coming in all right? Hey, Val's, welcome. Okay, Val's was first. Jeremy was first to be first. Priscilla was second to be first. And Val's, you're the third first one. Hey, Mr. Science Geek, welcome to the stream, man. How's everything going in your neck of the woods? I haven't caught very many of your videos lately. Did you slow down putting them out, or am I just not getting notices? Yes, everyone's number one. There you go. Hey, Flynn, you can be number one too, man. You guys getting any of this snow, Mr. Science Geek? Flynn probably got some. Hey, Dion, welcome to the stream, man. It's like old home week here or something. Ah, okay. Well, I'll definitely get over there and check you guys out. I've watched a couple of Dion's videos here lately. Yeah, we're in the rain band ourselves. Flynn is in the rain band too. Some people are getting pounded right now, like maybe Lucas Bretz and some other people are getting pounded. Number 9. Right back at you, Dion. Yeah, he did get kind of salty in one of his videos. But that's all right, Dion. If you got to get salty, you got to get salty, man. I do it myself every now and then. Ah, Priscilla's getting it. Shrimp really are cool. You know, coming at this from genuinely old school, I was always into the larger cichlids and their behaviors. Hey, Corona Ken, welcome to the stream. Awesome. Awesome, Mr. Science Geek. Anybody that doesn't know who Mr. Science Geek is should go listen to him play his guitar, should check out his website. He is a teacher that is teaching some of our young kids in the northeastern area of the country how to learn about science, and fish keeping and fish in general dovetail very nicely into the whole science thing. Yeah, I've been missing a lot of people's live streams and videos here lately. I'm closely following my Indiana Pacers NBA basketball team. So whenever there's a game on, I'm watching, and also the Olympics have started, and I've been trying to follow the Olympics as much as possible. I don't watch football much anymore because my Hey Heather, welcome to the stream. My Indianapolis Colts haven't been very good here lately in football, so I've kind of not been watching football as much, but I've been doubling down on my basketball and excuse me, other kinds of sports. Hey Cobwebs Caverns, welcome to the stream, and evening to you as well. Dion, you worry about the road, man. If you're transporting, you don't worry about anything else but that. I really don't have an object today. Again, I don't have an axe to grind. I'm not going to get salty towards anybody. If you guys have questions or things to talk about other than religion, politics, scientific controversy, anything that's not really controversial, I'm sure we can get going on. I appreciate you guys spending part of your Saturday with me. I know your time is valuable, and I hope to do my best to try to and Corona Ken wants to talk about fluoride in toothpaste. What about fluoride in water? Oops, we're not going to talk about. Yeah, I think the weather. Oh, it's Sunday morning for Val's. Well, happy Sunday morning, man. How did Saturday go for us, Val's? How will the rest of our Saturday go since you're already in Sunday? Yeah, there's definitely some bugs going around, Mr. Science Geek. There's and Cobweb Caverns wants to talk about chemtrails now. Oh my gosh. Hey, down the wormhole, welcome to the stream. I have been catching a couple of your videos lately, and they've been really good. Congrats on doing them. Yeah, I really thought these Endlers deserved a little bit of time. The tank is so overgrown with guppy grass. My wife planted the tank when I set it up. I set it up and then I let her plant it. And one of the things that came with Jim's stuff was some guppy grass. And so I left it in there because I wanted the guppy grass to grow enough for the shrimp to be able to have their babies in that guppy grass safely, and then the Endler endlers couldn't get to the baby shrimp. But these endlers are beautiful, and a slight update on this. My wife says that she was just cleaning the more guppy grass out of the tank. We have to go through every day. Oh man, sorry guys. I'm all choked up over the existence of Sasquatch. Anyway, she reported to me that when she cleaned guppy grass out this morning that she found about 100 baby endlers. So we'll have to see how they do, but all 5 or 6 of these very large females must have dropped baby endlers all at the same time. I'm guessing Charles Clapspaddle, huh? You're going to have to clue us in as to who Charles Clapsaddle is, Jeremy. Yeah, Heather, these endlers are Lucas Brett's rainbow tiger endlers. I always say it wrong. I always say tiger rainbow endlers, but these are the rainbow tiger endlers that Lucas has bred and is selling for a very expensive amount. And they were part of the group of fish and shrimp that I got from Jim. This 13-gallon is the crawfish tank that was on a lot of Jim's live streams. Kelly Kapowski crawfish tank. It's a 13-gallon rimless, and I wasn't too sure that I was going to really enjoy the footprint of the tank, but it has been very enjoyable to take care of. It's a very low maintenance tank. And Coronakin's talking about King Lee has shown some nice guppies earlier today. Oh, also, I caught Susan. Susan had her birthday video today, so I would advise you guys to go check out Susan's birthday video and wish her a happy birthday. She is 59 years young, and as the Fish Fam mom, I think we all need to keep up with her and wish her happy birthday. Heather says, yeah, lots of vids to watch today. Yeah, there is. Let's see, I've caught Corey adding his large clown loaches in video today. I've caught several videos this morning before the Olympic stuff started coming on. Priscilla says she got some guppies from King with Twin City Guppies. Top-notch quality and service. Yeah, they seem to be doing really decent work at getting some very nice guppies, lines of guppies out there to everybody. I think they're kind of expensive, but you get what you pay for in a lot of cases, and I think that Twin Cities is probably a really good place to get guppies from. Jeremy says he's a native live bearers enthusiast. Also has a family hatchery, Goladad Farms. I've heard about Goladad Farms. I'm not sure. Maybe when I was looking around for scuds, when I first got interested in scuds, that he has some scuds for sale from his hatchery. And I could be wrong about that, but that name, Goladad Farms, rings a bell. Hey, Fish Tropic, welcome to the stream, man. How is Fish Tropic doing today? How are all of your fish doing? Yes, I should be calling everyone by name specifically, but it also helps since I don't run the live chat window on my streams. It also helps to call you guys out by your names in YouTube, so that people will recognize who I'm talking to. You know, Glass Boxes, I call him Joel all the time, but it's not fair in some senses for me to do that, and then for people watching the live stream that don't know all of us by name, they can't really figure out who he is on YouTube. Jeremy is well enough known, I think, for most people to pick up on who he is. I'm glad to hear it, Jason. I've watched several videos, Jason, of that fish store that you, I guess, work with or oversee in some part. The store seems to carry quite a few interesting fish. I've not really brought that up to you in some of the live streams we've been in together, but I enjoy watching the sections of your videos where you go into the store and talk about the things that are in there. I mean, I also enjoy your home tanks too, and you making it snow all the time, but I really do enjoy the videos you do where you go into the store. For those that aren't aware, this is my video before last in the background. This is Rainbow Tiger Endlers from Lucas. You're more than welcome, man. And once again, anybody that's in this stream that doesn't know everybody should go check them out. We have a great group of people that hang out in this stream, and I think you would do yourself a favor to go check out these channels of the people in the stream. Priscilla is asking, does Filmora have a phone app? I don't know that Filmora has a phone app. My current phone from Verizon is a piece of junk. It is a Pantech, and it's the camera on it is so useless. Hey, Thirsty Rabbit, welcome to the stream. Priscilla is asking me, as to your Filmora question, Priscilla, I have no idea. My phone is such a piece of junk that they gave me that I don't even try to load apps onto it because it's so useless. And Priscilla is asking me, when is Peru? And Peru is right now, Priscilla, all day, every day. It's just that I'm not there yet. I did find my passport. If you want to know what I look like with short hair when I worked for a living. Let's see, give it a second for the for it to catch up and I can see whether I'm actually showing you that picture. Anyway, it went out of date in 2015, so I need to go get myself my passport renewed, but with it in my hand, I'm a lot more likely to get it done than without it. So I'll get that taken care of. Then I need to set up with my doctor to get the shots that I need for southeast Peru. Priscilla, money is such an issue for my wife and I right now. We've all this saving up for Peru has just put us into one money issue after another, and we ran into yet another one. So going and buying a new phone, I need a new video card for my computer, all those kinds of things I'm putting off this year, and I'm just going to try to reapplied for passport via U.S. mail, and it took 4 weeks turnaround. That's good. What did it cost you, Corona Ken? I was just worried. I haven't been able to dig up my birth certificate, and they pretty much want to see a birth certificate when you go do a passport now to prove that you're not an alien terrorist here to destroy the country. And Priscilla, my heater issue ended up being a $3,800 total replacement of all the pipes, all the whole entire heater, and everything. The old one, $100 range. Well, I don't think that I have to have a birth certificate if I have an expired passport, do I, Corona Ken? I may be wrong. I got my passport to get, I got my birth certificate again to get that passport, but that was in 2005 when we went to Europe. So I have not been able to lay my hands on my birth certificate. You've got a red passport? You did need both, huh? Wow. You have to have the birth certificate to get the passport, but if you've gotten a passport already, why do you need to show the birth certificate again? I'm going to have to dig it up, I guess. I've been tearing through. My wife and I are both pack rats, so this house is packed full. I mean, you can see in the background around me that there's piles of stuff everywhere, so I'm going to have to dig my way through these piles and figure out where I put the birth certificate in 2005. Yeah, because the government. And in this case, we should say government. Yes, Priscilla is an alien. She is from Venus. It must be the one with the race. Oh, the birth certificate. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I had to get. I've got a photocopy of my original passport. Yeah. Yeah, my first passport when I was born in 1955, but it doesn't have this raised seal on it. Mr. Science Geek is going to go cut his hair off while he's lurking. Oh, man. Your hair's always so short anyway. Fancy pantsy colored pages, too. Well, this passport has some fancy pages. It's got lots of nice red seals on it and stuff like that. And visas. Anyway, I am seriously looking forward to Peru. All my life I've wanted to go there. Well, all my life I've wanted to go to South America. And mostly lately I've wanted to go to Brazil and and do the Rio Tapajos to find my L260s in the wild and see how they live and how they act in the wild and what the water conditions are there in the wild. But you can no longer collect in Brazil, and so I am going to go where I can, which is the Peru trip. You can still collect and keep in Peru. Priscilla wants to know, wait a minute, how do you get it in the mail? Doesn't the American passport have a biometric chip in it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're chipped or not, Priscilla. You dangerous aliens need to be chipped so we can keep track of you. Corona Ken says he was so happy to see his albino Cory laying eggs, then went to the live fish store and he is full of baby albino Corys. Down the wormhole, I don't have a Patreon. Thank you so much for asking. But counter to most of the people on YouTube, I am utterly disinterested in money ever having anything to do with my live streaming and my videoing and whatever I do on YouTube. I do not monetize any of my videos, and if I get to 1,000 subs, I will not turn on the donation. When money becomes the most important thing in your life, money is the most important thing in your life. And I am utterly disinterested in anything that I'm doing here on YouTube being connected to money in any sort of way. Cobweb says that sadly he would have to apply for a UK passport if he needs to go overseas. Yeah. So down the wormhole, I'm not interested in being stupid about it, but I'm really disinterested in any of you giving me money to help me or to aid me. I want to do what I can do with the money that I have, and I want you guys, in the case of paying attention to me, to spend that money on your own fish, books, food, medications, and that kind of stuff. I'd much rather you guys spend the money that you would donate to me on your own fish keeping, and both of us will benefit from that. You will be a more well-equipped fish keeper, and I will be happy with no money. Priscilla says, yeah, no kidding, Homeland Security knows everything about me. Pictures, fingerprints, eye metrics, history, bank statements, income, and the color of your underwear. Well, I think the color of your underwear is going a step too far, Priscilla. I think you need to block them from that information. That's a little TMI for me. And give them a good old thumb in the eye when they come knocking, because our government's treatment of immigrants and people that have come to this country is the way that we as Americans and as an American society present ourselves to the world. And I want America to present itself to the world as being welcoming, as being gracious, as being grateful that other people want to come here and visit us or to live here and work here. Thirsty Rabbit, thanks to you, says money is the root of all evil. I don't know that money is the root of all evil, and I don't want to throw shade on people that are trying to make a living through YouTube. I'm all for supporting them, but I am not trying to make a living through YouTube. I am not trying to sing for money. I'm just utterly disinterested in money as far as YouTube is concerned. I think it's a joke how much they pay for monetizing. Now, occasionally I will run a audio clip that will require them to allow the video to be monetized by whoever holds the copyright on that music, but I try my best to not do that either. Cobweb says money itself is just paper or metal, or more likely these days just a number on a computer screen. Yeah. And Cobweb says the love of money is the root of all evil. And I would further that by saying greed is a great root of a lot of evil. And anymore, our society, and this goes for the whole world really, because you can see it in every country across the globe, but the desire to obtain riches above all else seems to be going stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. You know, this can get into strip mining of land by the streams where our fish come from. You know, the destruction of habitat in the mad dash search for money. I strongly support those places in the world and people in the world that try to talk to the people that live in these different countries that are backwards, for a better lack of a better term, that have a great deal of undeveloped land, that has a lot of native species. There are a lot of people that are trying their best to convince the people that live in those countries not to kill their native wildlife, but rather to turn their native wildlife and their native unspoiled nature into wildlife preserves, and to let tourism be the way that they make money. The tourism off of beautiful, unspoiled, full of native wildlife that can't be seen anywhere else in the world. Those things are worth a great deal. Cobweb says unfettered capitalism is dangerous, and I would probably agree with that. Lumpy Dog, welcome to the stream, man. Corona Ken says, read an article about Ford making $90,000 SUVs and they can't make them fast enough. Yeah. And Priscilla asked, how much is it for Peru? Priscilla, it's we're doing the 7-day, and the 7-day is $1,600 for the trip itself, and the airfare is going to run me anywhere between $1,600 and $1,800 for a round trip package. So it's right in the neighborhood of $5,000 by the time you add in, ancillary costs, food, transportation, all that kind of stuff will add up. And plus, you have to pay. You can collect the fish, and they will give you the CITES papers that will allow you to ship the fish home, but you have to pay the cost. And I'm guessing that it's going to be anywhere from $100 to almost $200 a box to fish ship home. We can keep 5 fish a day, so that's 35 fish that we would be able to keep. But shipping 35 fish home may cost upwards of $180 a box. So there's a great deal of cost involved, but I'm in my 60s. I'm not getting any younger. The honest truth is, if I waited 2 or 3 years, I probably wouldn't physically be able to do it. I may not be able to physically do it right now, but I'm not going to, all things being the same, I'm not going to let this chance go by. Yeah, it is steep for a week, Priscilla, but they have a property down there that they have to do upkeep on. They have to, Ian and Michael will both have to fly in for that trip. So there's a lot of cost involved in them being there, in them getting there. And I will not begrudge them the cost of the trip at all. Thirsty Rabbit's asking me, do I have any dream fish that I would like to catch and bring home? Well, of course, the dream fish, the whole dream fish idea of trips like this is to go and find an undiscovered species, to be able to name it, because you are the one that found it, and you are the one that introduced it to the ichthyologist for them to study, and potentially you are the one that introduces it to the hobby. And so what I really want to collect, I'm going to set up that 55-gallon that was going to be my wife's tank, and I got her the 75 for Christmas. I still haven't cleaned it and resealed it. Going and getting Jim's fish last year knocked my whole schedule off as far as doing all that stuff for that 55-gallon, building the stand, all that stuff didn't get done. So I'm looking to bring back 55 gallons worth of fish. And what I really would love to collect is some L catfish. I know there's some ancestral species that live there. They seem to be finding more and more of them. And I would also like to collect some tetras there are a lot of interesting and different looking tetras there, and I'd like to collect some of them. You know, native species that you just don't see, native to that area that you just don't see every day. My understanding is that the water is a little cooler, and that it is, you know, it's much closer to the mountains, and so it may have a higher mineral content than most South American species actually usually take. So I'm looking forward to bringing home a tank of those fish. Corona Ken is asking, how many collectors do they take for a week? And Ken, I think that I have heard that you can take up to 6 people, but as far as I know, unless Corey is going to hook or crook Jim into coming with them to do filming, which I wish he would, but I've already heard Jim say several times that he doesn't want to go to the wild of Peru. So as far as I am aware, I know King Lee showed some interest, but he may have had, you know, his calendar may not have been able to handle it, or his wallet may not have been able to handle it. My wallet can't handle it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think that you can take up to 6, but right now it's just Corey, Bob Steenfott, and myself that are have paid to go. And I'm Priscilla says, but totally worth it. Yeah. I can't put a price on finally being able to go someplace that I've read books about and listened to people talk about my whole life and studied in depth. And I am just really excited about going myself. Well, we pretty well shot this hour with me rambling on about nothing. Here, let's get... Yeah, it's going to break my credit card too, Priscilla. I don't make that much. But my wife and I talked about it. My wife and I have been married 21 years now. And when she heard me talking about this trip, that it was going to happen, she said, "You've been talking about going to South America to look at fish ever since I first got to know you." And I said, "Yes, honey, I have." So, all right, let's see if we can find a tip that we haven't read from this book before. Better fish keeping skills. 322. New does not always mean better. Technical innovation is no bad thing, but the fish keeping marketplace is awash with products that have yet to prove their worth. Yet more cannot justify their price tag in terms of the benefits they confer on you or your fish. Don't automatically buy something just because it is new. Wait for others to evaluate it, then read the product reviews in Aquatics magazine. Great tip. And this is, of course, 500 ways to be a better freshwater fish keeper. It's not a perfect book. It's not even maybe the best book like it on the market, but it's a book that I highly recommend. If you look up how much it costs to buy it on Amazon and places like that, I can't tell you that you would get a better value for $1 to $10. Priscilla gives it the thumbs up. Down the wormhole, have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. Turbo Fish, welcome to the stream. I didn't catch you earlier. And Heather says, yes, it's not rambling. It's something that you're passionate about. And that is great. Yes, I think that that is the one thing that each of us can bring to this hobby that is different about each of us, that enables us to offer something up that others may not have thought about, or that others may not have known, that we are passionate about tiny slices of the fish keeping hobby on the whole. The fish keeping hobby is so wide and so expansive. And what I always say about it is that if you really dig deeply into this hobby, it will expand out in front of you and beneath you. There is no way anyone can possibly know everything there is to know about this hobby. So if we are passionate about a section, a tiny sliver of the whole of the fish keeping hobby, we may discover, we may research, we may learn, we may have an experience that others have not had, learned, studied, and we can offer that with our passion to and Priscilla MK Art says, that's an awesome wife, talking about my wife telling me to just go, to not worry about the money, not think about the money, just go and do it and enjoy myself. I can't second that motion any more strongly, Priscilla. I have a very awesome wife, and I love her with all my heart, and I think she knows me well enough to understand that even though it's beyond our ability really to pay for, that this is something that I've always wanted to do with a great deal of interest and study and preparation for. So she said, just go. I said, well, honey, we can't really afford it. And she said, just go. Thirsty Rabbit, thanks to you. Thanks for the new channels I found today. Going to check them all out after this stream, and thanks for the stream. Thirsty Rabbit, I think you will find you have collected a great group of Fish Fam members here that frequent this stream, and I will bet that you will find many hours of enjoyment watching these people's streams and efforts on YouTube. And I let go by Joel from New Zealand, Glass Boxes. I guess if you change your name to Joel G from New Zealand, I'm going to have to start calling you Glass Boxes. Says, I'm here but driving, and Turbofish says, on the wrong side of the road, Joel. And yes, he is driving on the wrong side of the road. And upside down, too, way down there at the bottom of the world. And Cobweb Cavern says, pretty much true of all subjects and hobbies. I've been into antiques now for over 30 years, and I'm still learning. And yeah, I would have to echo that there is a great deal of science. It's not rocket science, but there is a phenomenal amount of science involved in understanding how our hobby works and how it functions. And to go after my channel name, how to care for the water in our fish tanks so that our fish are able to thrive. So it's actually phenomenal, the amount of stuff that actually goes on. Priscilla says you can listen to other people's opinions and methods all day, but you must learn from failures. Yes, most of the information that you're going to pick up, unless you're dealing with an actual expert, and please understand, people, I am not an actual expert. I am a hobbyist, just like you, just like all the rest of you are. And although I have had a great deal of experience and am fond enough of my own opinion to tell it to you like it is written in stone and fact, most of the information that you will pick up on YouTube is anecdotal information, anecdotal evidence. It is people's experience in the hobby, and what works for them may or may not work for you. And you need to be wise enough and rational thinking enough and well studied enough to be able to listen to what they have to offer you, and then take that advice and what science they are offering you and study it yourself and ascertain whether that anecdotal evidence that they have used and it worked for them will then work for you, because it will not always happen that way. Some people will tell you to put willow branches in your tank, and that will help something happen. And I'm not going to say what it will help happen, because I think you should search that out for yourself. But that is anecdotal evidence that in their case, they went and plucked live branches off of a tree and put them in their tank, and it didn't kill their fish that they were aware of, and it actually did help something happen. And so you need to figure out, you need to research that branch, that tree, figure out if there's, if you can, if there's something poisonous in that branch or those tree limbs, and then figure out whether it's going to work for you. Set up an experiment with not all of your fish, but some of your fish. Yeah, Cobweb's Cavern says it helps fish with headaches. It actually worked really well for me. Priscilla, it will soften, it will lower pH. It will actually help draw some chemicals that are bad for your fish out of the water into the branch. I'll tell you, the last person that I saw offer this advice is Old School Fish Guy, who is actually the person that got me involved with YouTube, because I followed a lot of his yes, Cobweb Caverns, it is. Thirsty Rabbit says, I'm like a sponge. I soak up all the information and filter out what works for. That's what you've got to do. As hobbyists, we have got to be able to do that. So willow branches in your tank will have some chemical effect on the water. It also will draw certain chemicals out of the water into the branch itself, because the branch will be continuing to draw water, and it also softens the water in a certain, and I would strongly advise you to go check out Old School Fish Guy, and that's his name here on YouTube, for some of the really older ways that we as fish keepers figured out, either through trial and error or because someone else we were listening to at a club meeting or an event said, you know what I did to solve that problem? I did X, Y, and Z. That doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. It may kill every fish you've got. But some people have the anecdotal information that says that it worked for them. So if you're casting about trying to solve an issue and you see some anecdotal information that is how one hobbyist managed to solve that problem, then you can try it for yourself. It may not work. It may have disastrous effects. That's the problem with anecdotal information. But this fish hobby has been going on for over 100 years. We've been, as a people, keeping fish outside of their natural environments for other than aquaculture. In other words, raising fish for food. And there's no telling how far back aquaculture goes. But the fish keeping hobby itself has been going on since the 1800s. So there have been a lot of innovations created along the way of our path of hobby, because they didn't even have electricity when a lot of that stuff was going on. So they heated slate bottom tanks with burners or candles or lamps to warm water in the wintertime. Or they used wind power to pump water. You know, there was a lot of innovation that has gone on down through the years, that some of it is still very useful to us, even though it's simple, even though it doesn't cost a lot of money, even though it's fraught with issues. There are a lot of very simple ways of keeping fish that are still valuable today. And that's one of the reasons why I always recommend buying any fish keeping book you can find. No matter how old it is valuable in the sense that you can learn something from the way it used to be. You can learn something from the state of knowledge in the hobby at the time that book was written. You can learn from the state of ichthyology in the hobby at the time those books were written. And you can learn ways of doing things that are so alien to our new technologies, the way we do things now, that in some cases they offer amazing ways of doing things. And I've got a lot of them in my videos, a lot of the great knowledge that should be continued to be passed down in this hobby, of the way people were doing things in the 30s and 40s and 50s, and cobwebs talking about his air pumps from the 60s that are still probably working. They built stuff to last. And yeah, I've got some 1960s air pumps myself. Mine are broken, unfortunately, but I'm still hanging on to them. I finally got tired of putting new diaphragms in my Whisper pumps. I've got a couple of great big Whispers still around, and I finally got tired of replacing all the diaphragms in them. All right, guys, we're over the hour. We're coming up on the top of the hour. I truly appreciate you guys coming and wasting your time listening to this old man ramble on. I value your guys' time, and I am honored that you spend it with me. And I hope in some way I'm able to impart some of my passion for this hobby, some of my learning in this hobby, some of my experience in this hobby. All right, guys, you have a good rest of your Saturday, or in the case of Val's, your Sunday. And good luck with your fish. I hope your fish thrive through the week.